Hey, what's your self talk? Jabari is here from What's Your Self Talk podcast. And listen, I want you to download Anchor right now. Because chances are you're listening to this and you're saying, I got some things I want to share. I have some things that I've wanted to put in a podcast form. Here's the opportunity. Anchor is free. You can do it from your phone and you can be on all the different podcast stations all in one app. Okay. So what I need you to do is stop waiting for the perfect time, analysis paralysis. Do it now. You'll thank me later. What's your self talk? Hey, what's your self talk? This is Jabari here with another episode of What's Your Self Talk. And I'm pretty excited to just share how this last week has been for me. And even how this is me holding up my Protecting Subconscious Mind series. And the reason that I even started this is, the question I always ask is, what's your self-talk? What are the things that you can do that can challenge you, that can pull more of the potential out of you? And what I have chose to do in order to protect my subconscious mind is I've deleted all my social media apps. That's right. Yes. I've deleted all my social media apps off my phone. Now, that was a big decision, but one thing that I heard on another podcast that I listen to for business and sales related stuff, because I am in the sales world, is it was talking about so the guy name is Jared, and Jared works for a very popular guy named Grant Cardone, and he was just kind of reflecting back on his journey with what made him change and to get to where he's at today, not just financially, but success. He has a lovely bride and they have a son. I believe they're having their second child. And so, when you start looking at somebody where they were and then where they're at, I think it's just natural to be curious about what did they do to get there. And so he was backtracking on what he'd done at the beginning, and he was talking about the advice Grant gave him via video, because Grant Cardone was someone who wanted to use his time wisely. And when Jared first came on, started working with him, you're pretty much at that point have a job. You do your job good, well, you stand out, then we can have a conversation. And he was just talking about the one thing that holds anyone back is themselves. And he elaborated on that a little bit, because he was like, that just sounds like a little motivational quote that, you have like on a poster, and you're walking on a beach and you're just saying, you only want to hold yourself back. But he went into it a little bit deeper, and he said, well, you're the only one holding yourself back because you are not willing to cut something off. And when he said that, I had a friend tell me that exact same thing. And I was like, wow, we always strive to be better in a lot of areas of life. But what are we willing to cut off in order to get better in something else? And for me, it literally has been having social media apps on my phone. So I deleted everything from Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. Now, for work, I do a lot of prospecting, and so you'll see me occasionally on Facebook on my laptop. And that is very structured. And literally the only time I go in there if I am looking for information for someone to contact. I try to keep my eyes off the posts and everything. But one thing that I've noticed is as I have, chose to fast and stay off of social media, is that my mind is so much more present at what I'm doing, but even at home, with my wife, with my son. And that is interesting, is just how much idle time, when we have idle time, like, it's so surprising to me. It's like when I'm on my phone, I'm trying to find something to do. But really, I know what I should be doing, but I'm trying to find something to keep my mind busy. And so what happens is I catch myself saying, "What are you doing?" Like, you're looking for an app that's not there. And I'm just being 100% transparent. Like, if you're someone who goes to your phone and you instantly click a social media app, whether it's Instagram or whatever, like, do you even get to the point where you even think about that anymore? Like, honestly, think about that. Like, do you think about going to click in one of those apps, or if does it happen so fast, like it's just deeply ingrained, and that's part of, your subconscious mind. You're not even consciously thinking about it because are you've done it so much. And that's pretty it can be pretty scary a little bit sometimes, because you're actually are going to something for the only reason to go there is to spend your time idling and seeing what's going on, what is somebody saying. Maybe you want to go there because you maybe want to get a laugh in, but maybe when you go get the laugh, you stay on 5 minutes and you go to the next video, and then you realize an hour passed by and you was only intended to be there for 5 minutes. Or somebody post something and it was curious, so you got in the comment sections and you wanted to see what everybody was reading. And the question I asked you is like, what is that good to you for? I'm somebody who's big on networking. I'm someone who loves making connections, and so I get that. But is that the only way to do it? I think we've allowed ourselves to surround around social media so much, is that we believe like that is the only way to connect. Guess what? We have phones that can call people and that can text people. And I think that is the best way to connect, because regardless if somebody posts something or put something on a news feed, that's still a human being. That's somebody who it's better to still connect with instead of read their news feed. So I don't know. I've just had a lot of time to think about this and say, what are the things that we can do to be better as individuals? And then when we take something away, then it gives us time to start thinking about what we want to do. How can we prioritize ourselves? And so I told me and my family, we're going to make a family vision board. And just start thinking and meditating on things that we want to manifest in our family life. And, focus on our health, focus on, my marriage, focus on my spiritual growth. And as I spend time doing those things, I believe everything else will start to come together. And I believe when I do go back to social media, that I will be very intentional about why I am on there. And so right now you may see me post something about this show, because I do want to make sure that those who don't get a chance to hear from me as much as you used to, that you at least know, hey, I'm still around. I didn't go, dark or anything. I'm just choosing to actively be off of social media. But I still am here to encourage and to motivate you and inspire you, because that's me. That's who God created me to be, and I love it. And so I'm going to keep this episode short, but I really want you to think about how can you allow less distraction in your life so you can be more present in other areas of your life. How can you allow less distractions in your life so you can be more present in other areas of your life? So that is what I challenge you to focus on. And even challenging you to say, I'm going to be part of this fast. I'm going to take a break from social media. And you don't have to do it as me as I'm going on, I think, another week. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a while until I make sure I have a priorities of when I go back and have a game plan. So, but I challenge you to at least say, hey, do this for 7 days. Fast away social media because it's a lot going on in the world and it's going to continue. And I'm not saying that none of that stuff is not important because I highly believe it is. All I'm saying is that you can only, as an individual, take in so much. And when you do not allow yourself to fully understand what is enough for you, then you can get to the point where you're overwhelming yourself and you're draining yourself and you don't know why. And until you take that time to be present and to reflect and be self-aware about what you're doing and why you're doing it, then I only think you will be able to grow and have a certain amount of potential in your life. And my job is to pull the most potential out of you. So I challenge you. To say, hey, Jabari, I'm willing to be a part of this fast. I'm willing to get off of social media just like that, just like you have, in return to see how I can be better in certain areas of my life, whether that is in your marriage, whether that is in your spiritual growth, whether that's in your business, whether that's in spending time as a parent, whether that is in your hobby, whatever that is. Like, you can only identify that. I have so many different layers for myself, but I just want you to focus on doing that so that you can take that one thing away so that you can focus on something that is more important. Take away something in order to gain something in another area. In this case, it's social media. But what do you want to gain? What is something you've been working on or wanted to work on or have not worked on, whatever it is? And do it. And let me know. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from any and everybody who chooses to be a part of this challenge. Now, there's a few ways you can reach me through this podcast, and I definitely want you to leave a review because that will be the best way that I know you heard this, but also that you're a part of it. So, I look forward to hearing from you. Make sure you like and share this podcast with friends and families. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. We may have a guest. So, I hope you enjoy your social media. For those who are going to keep staying on social media, nothing against you. I understand. And for those who are wanting to be part of the challenge, welcome to be bold enough to step up and say, I'm going to go for it. So, you know that question I'm going to always ask you. What's your self-talk? I'll see you next week.